They say that there are yokai who live in the forest, those who are known as gods or little spirits who live here. The term goes by the name yokai, Japanese monsters that only existed in most of the world. They are hidden by strange, complicated creatures called humans, hairless creatures with no fur. Some say that the yokai are terrifying monsters. Most took shape of a human, while some took the shape of an animal. Or maybe some take the shape of an object with weird eyes, sharp teeth, and limbs that allow them to move. Everyone feared them, and they hunted them down. But not all yokai are dangerous. They bring fortune and luck to those who protect them from the monsters, and they worship them for bowing down and giving charms to remember their loved ones. Everyone says that sometimes they only exist in fairy tales, but however, they did live in a world unlike theirs, filled with life and strange creatures. Sometimes someone will say, "Did you hear that? There must be a yokai in the woods." However, some grown-ups may say that it was only an animal or a branch falling down. Yokai are just myths they saw, pranking people from under their skin and hiding in the trees. But to them, no, us, we're not actually humans. We are Kami-ona, sea turtle women who live deep in the jungle instead of the ocean. Strange that we live in the forest but not in the ocean, right? We lived in the forest a long time ago, for 14 years, and we are protectors of all things alive. Using my fish tail, I swim through the rivers like a fish in water, swiftly and gently. By my side, Monaco and Tomoka follow suit with their unique powers of physic and life. Last but not least, Reika can sense the smell of traitors of human scum who are about to take down half of the forest and destroy life. Truth is, we are not wearing costumes, like how people dressed up for cosplay or anything. We are actual yokai. My name is Shirahara. The first words, Shira means white princess. The surname Hara means origin and serenity. Put two words together and that makes my name, Shirahara. I am known as their leader, an oldest sister of the family. I have the power to control water and use my swan wings to fly. My legs fuse together, and when it transforms, it becomes a fish's tail when I make contact with water. With my power of my song, I sing to heal the sick and the weak and use it for battle. I hold up a blue knife that can slice down wood and cut through the skin of any living thing, and with one slice will leave you dead. Sadly, though, I can only see with one eye only. I don't know what happened to my left one, but my mother said that I gained a scar when I was just a hatchling, the shell stabbing into my eyeball and slashing my skin into a single red line. I was not really ugly all this time because of my blonde skin and tinted blue scales of a sea turtle that spreaded on my shoulders. My body has a shell, two wings, blue short hair, and my eye is pink like a rose. Not all of my powers are the same. My second older sister, Reika, is second in command. Her name means beautiful flower, since it's silly because she wanted to change her name or something that matches her fire. But the thing is, she doesn't speak, and her power is way more difficult than I thought. She remained mute because her voice was damaged. She controls fire, and with one touch of her finger, she could cause a wildfire throughout the jungle, so she has to wear black gloves to prevent burning the trees. Like me, Reika had red tinted lizard shaped scales on both shoulders, short black hair, and her red eyes were closed. She becomes very weak when she makes contact with water whenever something wet falls on her. With her hands and feet wet, she can't make flaming sparks, but she has another power. She can lift trees with Superman-like strength and can hold the three of us in her arms. Her super strength only comes around during nighttime and wears off when day breaks. Now Tomaka, her name means brilliant friend. The word Tomo means friend, which is the often wisest and most beautiful of all, due to her long black hair that swayed in the breeze. She makes objects float on her own, and she uses her barrier to protect herself from spikes and bullets. Unlike us, she wears bottle-capped glasses because she is nearsighted and couldn't see without them. It was not just her nerdy glasses, but her hair is long and black with light purple scales on her shoulders, her unique tail, and her blue eyes. She doesn't know a lot about technology, but she does know she's learned how to use a strange machine for use. She gathered so much materials to build something that will make everything work, but eventually they sometimes go wrong, like if a branch breaks or the webbing falls off. Finally, there is the youngest of the bunch, Monaco. She is the follower of our clan and the cheerful one of all. The word Mana means loving, while Ko means child. Put them together, and her name means loving child. Her unique power is making life grow and use her own hands to form into branch claws, not to mention her orange, fluffy hair, green scales, and yellow eyes. When she touches the ground, vines and branches would spread out and attack enemies, and when creating a green barrier, she forms the ground around herself to make a spiny, thorny ball that someone could never touch her, or gets rolled when she moves. Usually, she grows strange and delicious fruit and makes vegetables from her little garden. Strangely, though, she can communicate with strange bugs which Rega did not like because she was scared of them. We never wanted to make contact with those humans who wanted to be friends with us. Some of them might be bad, like the black armored soldiers who wanted to capture us for many years, so we often stay away from them at all costs, far away from the village. Our forest is our home, where we will be safe from danger. The deeper trees never fought to make us hide and climb all the way to the top, and we were trained to be Kunoichi. Our destiny is to hide and defend our territory. All those years, we lived in a huge, old, abandoned airplane that was wedged between the strongest trees and branches connected to the open holes. The airplane's steel was worn out and vines grew all around it, clinging to the old walls. There was a lot of shattered glass, and most of the chairs were torn and ripped to make room. There were so many skeletons that were littered on the ground, but we often used it as a warning that someone like human beings would come out and attack. Yet, if it wasn't for Mother, we would have never been dead. My daughters, she says, you have returned from your foraging. Yeah, Monaco answered with delight. We collected a few berries and herbs, and even defeated rogue humans. You have done very well, my daughters, said Mother. I know you are eager how you've been trained, so I will tell you how you came to be. I heard the origin story so many times, and I was glad I was able to hear it again. Your ninja skills have been swift, but your young teenage minds are still growing. We still live in the shadows, and I'm going to tell you the rest of your story about how you came to be. 14 years ago, just as Mother told us the story, a long time ago, we were born inside our eggs in a lab not too far away in Hiroshima. I don't remember what the company's name is because I was so young and I haven't hatched yet. But we were brought here off the beach by a group of human scientists who wanted to examine us. We didn't even hatch before we were born cold, but those humans we thought were once friends saved us. They took us in and placed us in these soft, small containers to keep us warm. I don't remember anything about the events, but we were tested in the lab under the eyes of a young, kind woman who kept us warm under a heating lamp. She carefully turned each egg over so our other side won't get cold and kept us close. Our mother said that this woman was beautiful and she showed us love. The lab was owned by an evil executive who wanted to make an army of strange creatures and force them to battle in enemy grounds in time for future wars. There are two kinds. Those who wear white coats are scientists, while the others wear futuristic black armored suits known as guards. The guards' job is to capture subjects who had been spying on them. Once captured, the victims will be brought back to the lab where the scientists inject the blue ooze into their blood and turn them into gross tech animal monsters. If those are strong enough, they are trained and ready for battle. But if one was weak, they are sent to a draining lab to drain blood so they could make more of this strange blue ooze. The machine is used to put the weak soldiers in, strapped in and injected by tubes and needles. Once the scientist activates it, it drains the ooze out of the mutant and dies. After it's weak enough, they will be placed into the incinerator to burn away the body. The remaining ooze has been kept in case to mutate a subject. Mother had overheard the soldiers to capture us since then when she was foraging. She did not know who they were when she found us, but she did learn the soldiers are searching for us. The blue ooze is what created us, and inside each DNA were thousands of animal blood that was made from our animal kingdom. Those are 5 different species of animals. When you feel it, it feels cold to your skin and soft like warm dough. The texture you see here is bright. You can see that it was glowing, small, tiny bubbles floating around endlessly. That is, until one night, the young woman scientist who raised us, Kanako Kuro, overheard the executive's plan. She wanted to take over the world by unleashing a monster army and kill all of humanity, wiping everything alive. Kanako refused to take part in the project, knowing the executive's true colors. To destroy the evidence, she set fire in the lab, releasing the chemicals and setting everything ablaze. It was quite terrifying. The flames spreading around the building, and most of the human lives had perished. Despite being hurt from the blast, she managed to collect us and ran away to the bank of the river, where she placed us in a small basket and let the river guide us before Kanako was perished by the black armored soldiers who shot her. Mother had told us her name by the guards and the old diary she found in the abandoned lab after the fire happened. Kanako was a brave young woman. She protected you and got you to safety, just like that. Sadly, I never got to meet her and say thanks for saving you. Days had passed, and our basket continued to ride down the river until we stopped at a bank of shallow water. We were found by a striped snake who lost her babies during a rainstorm and hatched out of our eggs covered in ooze. She didn't try to bite us or swallow us. Instead, she saw that we were the first creatures that were also reptiles. Her name is Ikioi, which means power and spirit. Ikioi had heard us crying when we hatched and found us all alone in the rain. She slowly began to pull the basket onto shore and take us to her huge burrow underneath the tree, using her tail. To the snake's curiosity, she somehow noticed the ooze on her tail. She doesn't know where it came from, but she knew she couldn't abandon us and decided to raise us. She will raise us just like how she raised her former children. The next morning, something unusual happened. Ikioi started to grow arms and had gotten bigger, and so did the rest of us. It's like we started to double in size. And the strange thing is that we started to develop strange hybrid parts. I started to grow swan wings from my carapace, followed by Reika, who gained bat wings. Monaco has green growth coming from the left side of her face, with small, cat-like teeth coming from her incisors. And finally, Tomaga had a large axolotl tail coming from underneath her shell. To my curiosity and realization, Ikyo stated that the blue ooze had changed us. Now that she's big enough, she will have to hunt and feed us while we continue to grow. We were quite fussy babies, wanting food and whining endlessly. When a year passed, Ikioi finally became intelligent and the rest of us started to stand on our own 2 feet, completely reaching our full size. It was so amazing now that we completely show human traits. Our mother continued to raise us, fascinated, until one day something quite bizarre happened. One of us said a word, our first word. Soon, we all started to speak words and complete full sentences, finally able to talk to each other. It was a lot difficult that we couldn't stay in the barrel for so long because we're getting too big, so we began to travel up to the woods to find a bigger place. We found an abandoned airplane that became our home and made it more modern. We have been given our personalities and our own destiny. I could hear the sound of marine life from the water and follow the path where it might lead. Monaco can hear the flowers bloom from the first break of dawn and can grow a single blossom from her hand. Reika can hold the brightest flame from her hand without getting herself burned, even if it was a big one that her strength could muster. And Tomaga can meditate while strange purple bubbles begin to form around her and levitate objects. While our mother raised us, she started bringing those that the lab had been burned down since, and no human has ever gone into this building again. She was able to find some that will suit us, like books, beakers, and others that were useful. Ikyo started training us and taught us how to use our strange abilities, our magic powers, and how to control. Using a very old Japanese ninja training book she found in the suitcase, she taught us a lesson of being a kunoichi. There are so many ways to use without weapons, with weapons, how to use stealth, and most important, becoming one with the ninja by meditating. There are so many tasks that we have to take: protect the forest, fight bad guys, find objects lost in the ground, find clothes, hunt for food, and become one with the forest. I was given the role as a leader since I was the oldest, and my sisters follow my command. But however, our powers are completely out of control. Our mother told us that we should not use our powers to bring harm to humans, and we did, keeping our powers under control. We became a team, and we are promised to be destined as heroes. Every one of you is unique, said Mother. You need to share knowledge, strength, heart, and peace. The world outside is dangerous, and you must be aware of the dangers outside. And that is our mother's teachings. We must be cautious and be gentle ninjas in the forest, calm and peaceful warriors of Japan. This is our life in the forest.